see President Trump entering a room. This is at a firehouse in the town of Annaville, Texas. That's about 200 miles southwest of Houston, closer to Corpus Christi, where this storm came shore on Friday night. Let's listen to the president.
Of the United States and the great state of Texas. I want to express my gratitude for our fellow Texans and especially the people of Corpus Christi for giving the president such a warm welcome on his ride over here, showing the gratitude that we all have for the president. I want to express my deep gratitude to the president for him and his entire cabinet and staff for what they have done over the past couple of weeks. A lot of people see what happens in front of the cabinet. I want to reveal in just 1 minute what's been going on behind the scenes, behind the camera for the past 2 weeks. About 10 days in advance of the hurricane even coming in to the Corpus Christi area, members of the president's cabinet and the president himself were in contact with me and my office preparing for this catastrophe that was coming our way. At every step of the way, as the hurricane came across the shore, as the flooding began in Houston, Texas, the president and his cabinet remain in constant contact with me and my staff, and they all had one thing to say: Texas, what do you need? How can we help? You can count on us. What I've learned is we can count on the President of the United States and his staff for helping Texas. Texas has been tested, but our response to this challenge has been made much more effective because of the very effective way the President and his staff has helped Texas respond to this challenge. So, Mr. President, thank you. Welcome to Texas.
It's so nice, Governor, and it's really my honor. This is a very special place and a special state. And Senator Cruz and Senator Cornyn, thank you very much, Senator Cornyn, for being here. We appreciate it. I know it's hard to get here for both of you. You were trapped in various locations, but we appreciate you both being here. I want to thank my staff, my cabinet. We have quite a few of our cabinet here. You know, Ben Carson, obviously, from HUD, and Tom Price and Linda McMahon, small business, which is now big business, because you're going to be, when you add them all up, you're going to be helping a lot of the people in Texas and doing a fantastic job. Thank you very much, Linda. But we have had a tremendous group of folks. Our acting director, Elaine, thank you very much for the job you've done. And a man who's really become very famous on television over the last couple of days, Mr. Long. We appreciate it very much. You have been just outstanding. And I can tell you that my folks just telling me how great your representatives have been in working together. It's a real team, and we want to do it better than ever before. We want to be looked at in 5 years and 10 years from now as this is the way to do it. This was of epic proportion. Nobody's ever seen anything like this. And I just want to say that working with the governor and his entire team has been an honor for us. So, Governor, again, thank you very much. And we won't say congratulations. We don't want to do that. We don't want to congratulate. We'll congratulate each other when it's all finished. But you have been terrific, really terrific. It's a great honor. And you've been my friend here for a long time. And with that, maybe you could say a few words.
Thank you, Mr. President. So the whole community is coming together. You know, right here where the brunt of the Category 4 hurricane winds came in just north of Corpus Christi, we're already starting to affect recovery. Recovery is a slow process, but rest assured that we're doing everything we can to unify our efforts down to support, you know, the local responders, the first responders that we have here. Yesterday I put eyes on the ground down in Rockport. We already have points of distribution flowing. We're working in conjunction with the Governor's National Guard, where FEMA's supplying meals and water, and the National Guard is helping to run those distribution points. That's how this system works. While all eyes are on Houston, and so are mine, we've got a long way to go, and we're going to have to set up expectations of the citizens, and we're going to have to continue a unified effort down to help the state of Texas ultimately recover. So very quickly, the objectives stay the same. The event, unfortunately, to the north of us is not over. We're still in a life-saving, life-sustaining mission. We're very aware of the issues at the convention center, but let me be clear, this is not the Superdome. The convention center, we are sustaining food. They have food. We're in security. I have an incident management team inside the city of Houston as we speak. and more people are being moved to shelters to stabilize the situation. The next thing is that we're pushing commodities. Once the water goes down, we'll continue to push not only commodities, but also help to get people registered in the system to receive assistance from all of us. Assistance doesn't just come from FEMA. It comes from many organizations who are represented here today by Secretary Price, Secretary Carson, and others. The next thing is that we're looking at power restoration. We're maintaining security. Ms. Duke, mobilize the Homeland Security Surge Capacity Force. With that comes law enforcement to make sure that we're overcoming and anticipating any security needs that we have. And then also with Secretary Price over here, we're working with not only the governor's disaster medical teams, but we're also sending federal disaster medical teams in, not only to the convention center today, there's already some on site, but there's going to be multiple areas, not only for crisis counseling, but also to make sure that we're meeting access and functional needs. The access is a challenge to getting all the supplies in once the roadway systems come out. We've amassed quite the federal force to be able to support the local and state efforts. For example, the governor pulls 12,000 National Guard troops in. We're pulling units out of Fort Hood as the federal government, federal DOD forces are coming in as well. We pulled several hundred trucks and staff just from assets right here in the state of Texas, and that's how the system works. This recovery is going to be frustrating. We're going to be here with you to help you guide through it. It's going to be tough to navigate all of the programs that come available, but we're here to help. So with that, I'd like to pass it along to our friends at the Coast Guard.
Mr. President, good afternoon, sir. This is where your Coast Guard serves at its best. You've got a bias for action. We are here in the state of Texas to support the state of Texas, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, lead federal agency. Sir, we have pulled Coast Guard men and women from across the country, capabilities, helicopters, fixed-wing response, incident management specialists, and they're on deck, sir, in Texas here getting after the task at hand. I'd be remiss, sir, to not tell you that as you look, obviously the landfall here, phase one was down here. We've been out, we've seen the effects here, and our local folks here are coming in. We'll speak to you more about that. Up in Houston, we are all in with the challenge there. We brought everything to the fight. The weather for the next couple of days is going to remain challenging. We'll probably see average rainfalls for the year, 50 inches, 4 weeks in. And I don't think we know what that looks like, sir. But I can tell you, the Coast Guard, Department of Homeland Security team, with the DOD forces, National Guard. I spent Sunday and Monday with the governor at different locations. We are seamlessly lashed up with the state. We are getting better at every day. It is a problem of catastrophic proportions, sir. I don't think we've done before, but I can tell you that we are all in and we're aligned. And I'm very encouraged, sir, about how this thing is going to go forward, just in terms of cooperation. With this, sir, I'd just like to give Captain Tony Hahn a couple moments here. He's locally, he can give you a perspective on the flight that's been here at this service building.
Good morning, Mr. President. Captain Tony Hahn, the Sector Commander here at Sector Corpus Christi, and also the Incident Commander for our Unified Command. Our Unified Command comprises over 150 federal, state, and local agencies, and we also bring industry partners in there so we can make sure we're covering all our bases as we get the board over. So I want to walk through a timeline of our activities that we've done over the course of Hurricane Harvey, just to let you know where we're at. So on Tuesday, the storm shifted and became a hurricane. Our job is to really assess the foot and see what we need to do to get assets out of it. And that's what we started doing on Wednesday. We started making preparations. We locked down facilities. We get assets, deep draft vessels out to sea so we don't damage the port conditions. Thursday, we moved to evacuating all our forces. We pushed our forces out of harm's way and our people so we can come back in after the storm to help as soon as we can. On Friday, we moved our boats and aircraft away from the storm so they could immediately respond. So now Harvey was upgraded to Category 4 hurricane. Our team is bunkered down in Robstown, Texas. We do a continuity of operations in Robstown, about 20 miles or so from here. We practice that many times, so we're ready to do that. When Harvey made landfall, several ships that were moored in Corpus Christi broke their moorings, and mariners in distress were calling us for help. At that point, we had to wait till the parameters changed, but we sent our helicopters north, and we saved 19 mariners' lives that night. Later on Saturday morning, we began our port assessments, and the conditions weren't good for getting boats on the water, but with our overflights and among the damage, we noted a grounded drill ship at the front of the Corpus Christi channel. So that's a major challenge for us. We continued overflights, respond to search and rescue calls on Saturday, And the weather conditions wouldn't allow us to really get on the water for us to try and get the port open, but we're working on that. So Sunday, now the storm shifted to up to Houston. And so we surged all our search and rescue resources out of Alice, Texas, up to Houston. And we're helping every way we can with that effort by surging resources. We're using our fixed wing assets down here to run logistics from all over the state to make sure that the operational commanders in Houston are doing what they need. Additionally, we brought our boats up from the south so we can start our operational activities here now that the storm's done. So Monday, we started our water operation with our partners. You know, it's a huge emphasis for getting the port open for commerce and for all the activities we do with the port. So our partners at the Army Corps of Engineers began their surveys of the channel, checking for shoaling and obstructions. And our ace navigation team started their evaluations of marking the water with all the buoys and the channel markers, just to make sure when we open the port it's safe. So far we've found over 180 grounded vessels. Of those, our major concern is that large drill ship that's at the top of the Corpus Christi channel. Last night the tide came up, winds came out of the bands from the storm, and it actually raised itself and drifted over the other side of the channel. So salvaging that boat is a big priority for us. Additionally, we're working with the Texas General Land Office on all the pollution activities. So far, the good news is we've not seen anything major in terms of pollution response or pollution releases. So to close, we're about 1/3. We've done with our channel surveys with the Army Corps. Once we complete the survey and salvage the grounded ship, we'll be in a good position to open the port. Right now, our biggest challenge right now is potential shoaling, and that'll require dredging operations. So we're really looking at those. Mr. President,
Well, I want to tell you, and I can speak for the governor because we spoke about it, we are very proud of the Coast Guard, the job they've done, with the lives they've saved. We're very, very proud of you. Thank you very much.
Mr. President. Mr. President, about a couple thousand rescues a day rolled up with everybody else's in this economic issue in the ports. We are in with the Border Protection Agency. We're in with the facilities owners, the pilots on the waterways. The conditions right now are not amenable to getting the ports open. We recognize that's a national priority, and we will keep at that and collectively get to that right answer as soon as possible.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Mr. President, at this time, before the press pulls out, there's the information that I'd like to share in regards to how citizens can get involved. So here again, it's the whole community. Neighbor helping neighbor is going to be needed in helping Texas overcome. So very quickly, if you would like to register for assistance underneath the governor's declared counties, there's 18 declared counties for individual assistance underneath the president's disaster declaration. That's disasterassistance.org. That puts in, disasterassistance.gov. I apologize. Disasterassistance.gov. That's the FEMA Individual Assistance Center system. There's also ways, if you're looking to volunteer, nvoad.org, nvoad.org. There's also within the state of Texas, onestarfoundation.org. There's also, and we'll leave it at that, on redcross.org as well. So thank you, and at this time, this concludes the press briefing.
Thank you very much.
All right, President Trump, the First Lady, the Governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, and his wife sitting in front of that briefing, hearing from various different officials, including the FEMA administrator, who you just heard from there at the end. Interesting that the president at one point said we will not say congratulations to these officials until it is all over, and it certainly is not over yet in the city of Houston. I want to check in with Hallie Jackson, who's at the White House. Hallie, for those of us who covered Hurricane Katrina, it was interesting that this briefing was handled in a different way than what happened with George W. Bush way back 12 years ago. Today was landfall for Katrina. 4 days later, everyone remembers that briefing where he infamously praised the FEMA administrator and said, heck of a job, Brownie. This had different tones. It seemed like they were being very cautious.
Cautious, but still somewhat upbeat, I think, Kate, if you look at the tenor of the discussion there. And I think you seized on one of the headlines coming out of this, the president acknowledging that it is, in fact, too early for congratulations still, acknowledging that this is going to be a very long recovery ahead, while, by the way, rain is still coming down in Houston and in other parts of the state. So the question now is, what can the president and what can members of Congress do to help? You saw, you might not have seen, but Senators Cruz and Cornyn were actually on the right side of the screen there. President President Trump shouted them out at one point, kind of made a nod to their presence. And there are some real questions now about what Congress will do to try to get some disaster recovery money to the people who need it most in Texas, particularly in the context of these other must-pass pieces of legislation coming up here in Washington. Our Hill sources are telling NBC News that at this point it is too early to say how that funding might get passed, how much it will be, what kind of mechanism they will use for it. Although the governor, Governor Abbott, who you saw seated right there with President Trump, told reporters just a couple of moments ago that the president has promised tremendous aid and that is going to be something they will be discussing in more detail during the closed door part of the discussion. It is notable, too, that President Trump is not in Houston. He is in Corpus Christi, away from where those rescues are that you've been showing video of, that we have been watching all day long and for the past several days. This was intentional. The White House said this morning that the president wanted to minimize disruptions, which is why he is not heading to the heart of where the recovery efforts are happening now. This was intentional to stay a little bit away from that. The president had come under some fire from some critics who wondered why he was traveling to the region this early and going to these specific locations. The White House clearly aware of that and keeping the president on a little bit more of a fluid schedule. And Kate, I should note, even before Air Force One touched down in Corpus Christi, President Trump and the White House are already planning their second trip to the region. Officials now saying definitively he will return to the area on Saturday. It's a question of whether he'll head to Texas and Louisiana, perhaps just one of those states. But this is certainly something that the president has taken great interest in, bringing together a number of members of his cabinet for this trip.
Hallie, thank you so much. And let me go to Houston now, about 200 miles from where the president is. That's where our Gabe Gutierrez is. Gabe, we learned a couple of things in this briefing. While the briefing was going on, we learned that 2 reservoirs have now overflowed their banks there. And you heard the Coast Guard talking about rescues continuing. They said 2,000 a day are happening.
I believe it, Kate. It is truly an amazing scene to watch here in Houston. We have been watching these rescues throughout the day, and in some ways it is utterly heartbreaking to see these folks taken from their homes. In other ways, it is heartwarming to see this many private citizens come in and help their fellow neighbors. We have seen Houstonians here going into that neighborhood, which is now completely flooded, and help take out their neighbors. The National Guard has been activated, all 12,000 members of the National Guard. They are also assisting in this massive rescue effort. The water here is still rising. This parking lot I'm standing on, much of it was not underwater just a few hours ago. This is a still unfolding disaster, Kate. We are near one of those reservoirs that you mentioned. We're on the north side. Those reservoirs feed into a major river that go into Houston, and there is concern that one of those rivers, the Buffalo Bayou, may continue to flood many of those neighborhoods. The George R. Brown Convention Center, the main shelter, has now doubled its capacity. A very difficult time here in Houston.
Well, and Gabe, a few moments ago, we mentioned you can't help but make comparisons back to 12 years ago in Katrina. And we heard Brock Long, the FEMA administrator, say this is not the Superdome. He was very clear that the convention center has power, it has food, it has water. What's the situation for those who have left their homes and waded through the water or come in boats? Are they now all finding shelter?
The George R. Brown Convention Center is certainly not the only shelter here in the Houston area. As we look around and we see this Army National Guard high water vehicle that is here being backed up to load more of these residents here that have been taken from their homes. The residents that in this part of West Houston, they are being taken to a shelter at a local high school. We have been to several shelters that are basically at capacity. The main shelter in downtown Houston at the convention center, they had expected to have a capacity of 5,000 people. They had 5,000 cots. At last check, they are at more than 9,000. So certainly the need is very great here in Houston. Emergency officials are making plans to open up more shelters. But again, the rivers are rising, at least in this part of Houston, and people are desperate. Kate?
Gabe Gutierrez out in the water in Houston. Gabe, thank you. The president will next head to Austin, Texas, the capital, where he'll have more meetings. We will be on the air throughout the afternoon as news events warrant. Lester Holt, of course, is in Houston right now, and he'll be here for nightly news. Stay with MSNBC for continuing coverage all day. Stay with NBCnews.com. For now, I'm Kate Snow, NBC News in New York.